Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. We just got home with our 2021 Tesla Model Y standard range, getting ready to plug it in using our Grizzly 240 charger. However, this is what they call a dumb charger, so no sort of screen, it's just a box on the wall plugged into the power, and then we plug it in via the Tesla adapter into our car. So, pretty straightforward process. Tap that, and then in. So, how do we track charging information when we don't have a smart charger? Grizzly's coming out with a smart charger here soon. It's going to have a screen. It's going to allow you to track charging information, power, all that sort of thing. But not only will Tesla tell you on its screen all sorts of charging information, kind of basic stuff actually, but what we use is an application called Teslafi. Now, if you've watched some of our range tests before, you've seen us kind of utilize Teslafi and show some data with it. But today's video is going to go through a breakdown of what Teslafi is able to do, how powerful it is, and all the fun stuff you can do with it. So starting right off with the Teslafi home screen. The Teslafi is not the most beautiful application. It is utilitarian. It exists for showing you stats and nerdy information about your car, and that's its main purpose. So don't expect any super beautiful UI or fonts or icons or anything, but everything just works. So for us more geeky electric vehicle owners, it does the job. When you log in, up here at the top, you've got the status of your vehicle. Our car is called Tesla, so it says Tesla is charging. We just got home from a drive. It's been charging for 8 minutes. The doors are locked. Shows you your battery percentage, 70% out of 85. The rated range based on the current charge, how far you could go based on the expected rated range of the vehicle, and then the estimated range is more based on what your most recent driving style was like. So if you were to drive like that for the rest of your charge, how far you could get. Then you see the inside temperature of the car and the outside temperature of the car and odometer, all pretty straightforward. Then right below here in this green bar, you see a little bit more of the current status of the vehicle. So it shows time to charging completion, so that's when it's going to reach 85%. Then you see the charging rate in terms of how many miles of charge you're getting, rated in miles per hour. How much energy has been added to the battery pack, the power at which it's charging, voltage, and amperage. Again, all pretty straightforward. Then you have your current day screen. So this is Wednesday, the 19th of May. You can see for most of the day, the car slept until right about 3:15. Then it went out. Alyssa did some driving, and she came back. And then it slept again for a little while. And then we went out again, did some more driving. Now it's charging back up. And you can show here what sort of displays you want to see broken down. So let's start really simple. Let's just minimize all of these and go through them one by one. So sleeps. This is going to show for how long your car was sleeping and stats about it. So you can see here from midnight until 3:11 p.m. the car was sleeping. The car lost 1% of battery during those 15 hours. So it started out with 205 miles of range, dropped less than a mile, it says 0.44 miles range loss, and shows temperature statistics and shows those for all the sleeps. Now an idle session is when the car is on but not sleeping. So that happens pretty frequently when you show up somewhere, you move the car, something like that. It shows you essentially the same stuff, where it is, how long it did it for, if it lost any range, etc. Now a drive is kind of neat because, again, pretty straightforward. It tells you where you started from, where you ended up, how long you drove, the battery stats during that. Shows you how far, so you can see on this first drive here, Alyssa drove 8.49 miles, but only used 7.65 rated miles. So she actually beat the expected efficiency of the car, 111%. That's probably because she was averaging 21 miles per hour and didn't go any faster than 43, so lower speeds, more efficient for electric vehicles. And I really like this little feature. You can put in sort of the average cost of gas and maybe what miles per gallon your last gas vehicle would get or something like that. So for example, we have 25 miles per gallon and $2.80 per gallon inputted into the program here, because that's about what we'd be spending with Alyssa's last car, Volkswagen Passat. Then right here it shows how much we paid to make this trip in the Tesla and how much she would have paid to do it in her gas car. So it's cool to see the gas savings add up. And it shows you some other things like elevation, average speed, temperature inside and outside, all that good stuff. Then you have a breakdown of all the different charges. It shows you where you were charging, for how long, how much energy added, the efficiency. So that means how much energy it actually consumed versus how much went into the battery. This is often lower if the car had climate on, or if the screen was on, if the car had to maybe calibrate a battery or something like that. The cost to do this charge, and you do have to input your cost per kilowatt hour into there, so ours is 16 cents per kilowatt hour, and the odometer when the charge took place. Now the map is kind of neat, so this is just an example of today's driving. You can see all around where we all went in the Tesla, and that'll be really cool when we see the lifetime map, because it shows everywhere the car went. For some reason, elevation isn't showing up. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe I have to have some other things brought up for drives, maybe? Yeah, there we go. So if you have elevation up, then it'll show you in a little elevation graph of the drives. So you can see here, this drive started at about 830 feet, ended up down at 694, and that's above sea level. Battery chart, that shows you what I was showing earlier, kind of the state of the battery throughout the day, and then any tags. So and we'll see that more when we look at road trips, but this drive right here, I could add a tag to it, like if it were a range test or an up north trip or something like that. So whatever you have checked here goes in for your standard home screen, and then when you open Teslafy, you see all of these throughout the whole day. On the right side, you get a nice little breakdown of the total stats throughout the day. So how long the car slept, how long it idled, any phantom battery drains, so where you lost charge to for whatever reason, for just not being used to power the vehicle. Stats for all your drives, so for example, today we drove 36.9 miles, we used 48.3 rated miles, 76% efficiency compared to what the car estimates you can get. We used 9.9 kilowatt hours with a watt hour per mile of 268. Total cost for us was $1.58, but if we had a gas car, it would have cost $4.13. The average temperature while it was driving was 81 degrees. And lastly, some charge statistics, another little graph of what the car's been up to today. That's all pretty fun and good. So what else can you do with Teslafy? Start up here in drives, we'll go to drive summary. This will show you your top 10 destinations everywhere the cars went. So obviously our home, very high, 161 different counts of going there. But you can see other addresses of various places we go regularly. It'll show you your longest drives. So you can see our longest one we've went was 137.6 miles. That's a solid drive without stopping for more than 5 minutes. And we did another very similar one within a mile on our long road trip down to North Carolina. In fact, a few of those were from that trip. You can actually click here and see all the destinations the car has ever been to, broken down by address. And these aren't all super specific, but it'll at least get you in the right area, and you can click on them. If I want to click right here, for example, this is the charger we use to do range tests up at Washtenaw Community College. You can click there and see right on a map, oh, that's where it is. You can name it something if you wanted. You can do all sorts of nifty things with that. Temperature efficiency. This is a nice graph because it breaks down the average efficiency of the car in certain 5-degree Fahrenheit temperature increments. So you can see down here, the super cold temps, definitely under 70% efficiency all the way up until above freezing. And then from there, we start to creep up more and more efficient all the way to 70 to 75 degrees, up to 85% efficient. So really good. And it's actually dropped off quite a bit above that. That's probably because running more air conditioning. We also have fewer miles recorded at that, but we're probably driving it kind of hard. I mean, we don't go super easy on this car. So you can also go through and search for any of your drives. So for example, if I wanted to see all the statistics for the month of February, I could go February 1st and then February 28th. Let's just do drives over 5 miles. Search. And this will show me every drive the car did over 5 miles in the month of February. And that's a lot of data, but what's more useful is the total breakdown right here. So you can see for drives over 5 miles, we did 1,600 miles, average efficiency of 66%. Any of these sort of things you might want to see. We spent $82.60 on electricity over in the month of February. In fact, I think if I were to get rid of that and just show all the drives in February, that would be a little bit more enlightening. So it's still loading. There's a lot of them, that's for sure. There we go, $87.54 on electricity in the month of February, average temp 26 degrees. So again, for people who like heavy data, it's cool. It's cool to be able to break all this stuff down and parse out what the car is up to. The road trip section is nice. So you can see we have our up north trip saved and then our Asheville trip. So this is what I use to make the video for our long road trip. You can see it loads. It shows the whole map, shows where we supercharged, elevation, all the different places we drove. And again, you can organize that. And again, the breakdown of total miles, total charging, all that good stuff. You can hide drives, you can share drives with people, you can have things auto tag going to a certain location or coming from. And what I like, the lifetime map. This shows you everywhere that our Tesla has been, and it's kind of a heat map sort of setup. So places we've been multiple times, it's thicker, so you can see like right here is where we've done our range test. It's a little bit thicker. We've done this route a few times. In places we've only been once, a little bit more faint. And total vehicle statistics up here for the whole life we've had the car as well. So 7,900 miles have been driven with Teslafi, 544 different drives, average efficiency of 281 watt hours per mile. Right here, we've spent $357 on electricity, and we've saved $888 over the gas car. In the charges section, some more interesting information. This will show you everywhere you've charged the car, different efficiencies for those chargers, how much time it's spent there, the cost. Obviously, we've spent the most time charging at home. And supercharging information as well. So how much power you've taken from various superchargers and the cost of all of them. We haven't spent anything on superchargers because of our referral codes, but if we had, then the cost of that would show up here. And same with destinations and trips. You can click on any of these. So if we go to, let's go to like this one in Lima, Ohio. We click right here on the number. Actually shows us a specific charge. It was on March 19th. We were there for 40 minutes, got 71% charge, used 40 kilowatt hours, 98% efficiency, and there was some battery preconditioning. That's what this means. Same thing with the drives. You can search for various charges at either certain locations or over certain dates. The battery report is nifty because it'll show you if you've had any sort of battery degradation. So it looks like when we first got the car, it must have not been fully calibrated or something like that. But once it did fully calibrate, we had the 244 miles of maximum range. Now we seem to be down to about 242 and a half. So we've lost a little bit, but just about a mile and a half over 8,000 total miles of the car. Calendar is pretty straightforward. Shows you a little calendar layout of all of your drives. Say if I wanted to click right here on May 4th, and then it'll show you all the different drives you did on that day. Under controls, if we show the live controls, we get various controls that are similar to what you'd get in the Tesla app. So you've got to unlock the car, enable Sentry mode, make it honk, start the preconditioning. You can actually have preconditioning presets. So for example, I have one set for 68 degrees and 66 degrees. You can stop charging and change the charge level. So nice to be able to do that from here. This is really nice as well if you're someone who has a very regular schedule or you just want to plan a one-time sort of thing. You can actually schedule the car to do something. So if I create a new one, I could say, command, I want to honk the horn at 2:30 in the morning if I wanted to and scare the heck out of us in the middle of the night. Or I could do a plug-in reminder. So if the battery is below a certain percentage and it's not plugged in, I would get a reminder for it. Certain things, a lot of things you can do, climates, reminders about doors being unlocked, a bunch of nifty features there. Another fun section of Teslafi is the fleet section. So you can go to software tracker and see what the latest update is and how many people are running it. So currently we got 2021.4.18, and we can see a lot of people have started updating to that since the 15th. We can even see a breakdown all Model Ys, all different models of Teslas using Teslafi, what software they're running. Again, a lot of detailed, esoteric sort of info, but hey, a lot of people appreciate that. You can see what software updates your car is on and how many days it's been since you've been on it, what your range has been. And a few more fleet statistics like where around the world people are using Teslafi, how many users per vehicle. So you can see Model Y is actually the lowest, only 1,200 users using Teslafi, but over 9,000 on Model 3s. So it's fun. It's fun to see what sort of names people have for their cars. So you can see the most popular names for every model except the X is Tess. Well, variations of it. Tess, Tessie, Tessie. So the most popular name is Tessie, and then Tess, and then Tesla, Tessa, and then down to goofy names like that. No other Teslas that I see. So I guess we're kind of unique. You can see various things like different colors. Most common is pearl white, not too surprising considering it is the free color of the Model 3 and Model Y. And you can go into your settings and adjust things like how much you pay for supercharging, how much you pay for charging at home, different offsets for your speed or your kilowatt hours per mile ratings or anything like that. Lots of different nerdy sort of stats you can adjust to really optimize Teslafi for your usage. So that is an extensive look at Teslafi. Thank you so much to the developers putting together such a nifty tool and letting us use it and fully see all the information about our car. It's super useful to have this for our range tests. For example, I can go to search and go to range tests and search for those, and it shows me every recorded range test we've done. And then I can see, oh, how efficient was it? This one was 283, this one was 324, this one was 322. What were the details about that? This one was really good. What happened? Oh, I see. The outside temperature was in the low 30s and the inside temperature was only 66 degrees. I see. And I averaged 70 miles per hour. Pretty good. So being able to use Teslafi for that sort of detailed information is so helpful. Now, will every owner of a Tesla benefit from using Teslafi? No, not necessarily. You have to be very passionate about this detailed information, but a lot of EV owners are. And if you're interested in this sort of thing, I absolutely recommend checking out Teslafi. So thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on our standard range Model Y, check our playlist in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.